it's not easy at all, right? And I think for me, I get it kind of twice, right? So I'm a black man working in the environmental field in and of itself is predominantly white, but I'm also an attorney working in that space, right? And there aren't a lot of black attorneys, period, right, across any field. So to be a black attorney working in the environmental space, like it's even more narrow for me, right? And I think I'm very hyper aware of it. But as I mentioned, earlier, like that's the reason I got into this work, right? Growing up, I didn't have some affinity for nature and the environment. I grew up in inner city Detroit, like in the hood, right? There weren't the green spaces, there weren't the parks, there weren't the lakes. Like I didn't grow up, kind of exposed to nature to kind of grow that love for it. So for me, it's always been about public health, right, and protecting the communities most vulnerable and being able to be in that space. So while it's not difficult, it's never it's never been a space that I didn't want to be in for the sake of representation. And I think too, right, it's as I mentioned, it's about advocating for the issues that I care about and know that impact communities. But it's also about like being in the space to create space for more people, right, that look like me and come from communities that I come from, right, and being able to say, okay, we need more chairs at this table, right? I don't need to be at this table. I may not be part of this impacted community, but somebody should be. And I think that's the part that kind of makes it much more manageable. And I get countless emails from black law students and even brown law students or students looking at going into maybe policy degrees and who are just saying I was looking at the NRDC website, or I was googling environmentalists of color, or and came across your LinkedIn, and they're just glad to be able to see somebody that looks like them in this space and be able to connect. And for me, man, like that's why I got into the work. So I'm always happy, man, and excited to try to mentor and shepherd along other folks, who are trying to really engage in this work.